Hey everyone, this is Charlie and you're watching The Burrow. One of the things that I struggle with kind of constantly as a writer, right, is this idea that maybe I'm not actually a writer, right? This idea that maybe I'm something of a fraud. You know, at what point do I qualify for that title? And I know coming maybe if you've been in the game for a while, like an especially long while, you sort of come to shed maybe that sort of insecurity. And particularly, maybe you come to realize that the important thing is not the label so much as the work. So that's really what I want to talk to you about today. Yeah, I can remember when I was just starting out, at least in the professional sense, writing. I didn't know, did I have the right to tell people that I was a writer, right? Now, to give you a little bit of background, I started writing when I was, very, very, very young, right? Like I can remember winning this young like science fiction or young creative writing or something award when I was in the 6th grade, which is, for those of you who didn't grow up in the American education system, is the last grading system before you graduate into middle school and then eventually on to high school and things like that, right? So I guess that would have put me right about 12 years old. So I remember being that young and writing a story about, I don't know, something to do with aliens. I don't even remember the story, and sadly I don't have that copy of the award anymore, though I think my parents do. But I point that out not to be like, oh, because I've been a writer for such a long time. I don't know what that accent is, but I don't point it out for that reason. I point it out to show you that, you know, even when in my head the point wasn't to be the, you know, some respected artist of the written word in creative nonfiction or in science fiction or in historical fiction or all these things that I'm now striving for, right? My only point in making any of those things when I was a kid is that it was fun, right? And only when I got older and started thinking about things like publishing and readership base and things like that did I come to feel self-conscious about what it actually meant to be a writer. Now, the first thing is that there is very much this idea with many, many new writers, or even writers who have been at it for a long time who have never found like their first big thing, right? Now, basically what encapsulates this problem is the idea that you're not a writer until you've been published. For me, the first thing of mine that was published was when I was 24, 25 years old, that was published in any sort of meaningful capacity. And what I mean by that is that in a way that I got paid for it and got any notoriety for it. Right now, it should be pointed out that since that time, 95% of the things that I've written have been published, have been ghost written, right? And then because they're marketing pieces and whatever the case may be. But that was a really big stepping stone for me, right? Now, the other thing to consider is that is readership, right? And of course, whenever I write anything, I write it firstly for myself, because if I don't write, I'm going to go a little crazy. I'm going to go a little depressed and all these other bad things are going to happen. Of course, I want people to read it, right? And when people don't read your work, it's easy to feel as though that work is not legitimate or is somehow less meaningful. And I guess what I'm here to say to you, and maybe it's really easy for me to say this as somebody who is pretty much in the same boat as 99% of you out there, is that neither of those things matter. Now, to clarify, yes, absolutely, I want every piece of work I ever put out, right? Any piece of work that takes me a lot of frustration and stress and a very certain kind of love and a very certain kind of work and everything else like that. Of course, I want it to be published, and you know, I want it to have that sort of official seal on it that maybe it was worth something, that it was worth somebody paying for. Of course, I want that. And at the same time, of course, anything that I write, I don't want it just to be something that's viewed by 3 people, and even if those people all leave really great comments and they all really like it or whatever the case may be, 3 people oftentimes doesn't feel good enough, right? I want 300, I want 3,000, I want 300,000 people to see that one piece of work. But what I'm here to tell you today, and this is something I learned with the first job that I really got as a writer, that I take every chance I can to sort of crap upon. Your success, your visibility in the world of writing has no bearing on what you actually are, right? So long as you sit down every day, and I mean every day, with the occasional vacation for a drinking and video game session. That's pretty much my day today, I guess, outside of making this video. As long as you're putting in that work and you're working to create a great story, you're working to get that creature that's living inside you that just has to get out there into the world, you are a writer, right? And that's something I'm asked a lot of times when people find out that I'm a writer from my main YouTube channel is, okay, well, I understand that you're a writer, like what is your advice for me? What can I do to be a better writer? And first of all, I don't know that I'm qualified to give that information, to give that advice. But the only thing I can say to you is what my editor, my former editor, who remains my favorite person in the world, said to me, and that is, the only thing you need to be a writer is you need to sit down and write. And at the end of the day, isn't that really all that should matter? So just something to keep in mind, guys. I know how easy it is to let these feelings of being a fraud, of not being a real writer, of not being a good writer, of not being a good enough writer, right? I understand completely what it means when those things take hold and how easy it is to give in to them, but I'm here to tell you, as long as you're doing the work, right? As long as you are working every day, and that means reading other people's work, writing, commenting on other people's work, getting involved in the sort of eternal community of literature and writers out there, you are a writer. So let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. I would love to hear how much you struggled with this idea of your own authenticity. Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks as always for watching. Please be sure to check out the other videos that we have up here on the Burrow. Check out Emily's sketchbook histories, which have been doing really well. Really great to see some of her history as an artist and see how she's evolved. And yeah, let us know if you have any questions or things that we can talk about in a live stream or in our normal videos. And we'll be sure to make some videos about those very soon in the future. Thanks always, guys, for watching. I'm Charlie. Go write something awesome. Characters, right? They are the most important part of your story. Any story, right? Whether you're